perhaps that's an opportunity just for me to bring you in, Hanna, on empathy. Was that something that you naturally was, as a mother, able to transfer to your children? Because of course there's Benji, but there's also his sister, I understand, too.
That's right, and I think that there's no question that along with the magic of multi-generational living comes some frustrations. Right, so we had to walk through the door and learn to empathetically exist together, and that we had to show the children that my father had a voice and he had a place at the table, and that he had purpose and integrity, and that his values were important. And I can absolutely tell you that the children behave differently because of that interaction, because actually it was very rarely all about them. It was about, but wait, you know, as Benji and Georgia were small, but wait, let's think about Grandpa's needs, because actually his needs are more important at this moment in time than yours. And what that does is it engenders absolute empathy. And for me too, that I'm now living with my father again, but the relationship has changed. What does that mean? I have to be empathetic to his needs, but he also had to be empathetic to ours. So we went on an educational life journey together. And it's important to say it was not always perfect, but the end result was sensational. And the ripple effects of that multi-generational living are now out there in the ether of the world, because we did something together that could never have happened apart. And I think that's all about empathy and respecting each other's values.
So, Benji, you obviously have a natural empathy, but do you think that this could be taught?
I think it can, because you look at our situation now, and it most certainly has been taught, because we had to learn over living with each other for 13 years to respect what each other can and can't do, for examples. You learn what each other do on a daily basis, what activities you do, your life experiences, and most certainly you learn over time. And like my mum said, not all of it is easy. It'd be a myth to say that it was, but learning how to adjust to other people's needs gives you a whole new outlook on life, which I think is incredibly important.
And let me just ask you, Benji, because we heard, of course, from Ida, her experience of ageism, the grandmothers, their experience of ageism. Rosario, she started by telling us the ageism that she has experienced personally and professionally. Benji, very quickly, have you ever had any experience of ageism?
100%. Comfortably, absolutely, because as I said earlier, my generation, teenagers at the moment, are stereotyped to be locked into social media, and that's a very harmful stereotype to put on the whole generation, because I'd say, for one, I limit the amount of time I'm on my technology extremely, because I learned from my grandfather that it's not all about your narrative. You have to look in the outside world, and there's definitely certain aspects of life where people look down on my generation because we spend too much time on technology. So absolutely.
Absolutely, really important. And just tell me, Benji, I know that you've set up a foundation. Do you really see that as your life's work and part of the legacy for Captain Tom?
So the Captain Tom Foundation is absolutely the legacy of my grandfather, and something that not just me, but the entire family holds incredibly dear, and something we will all be attached to our entire life. When a charity is named after someone who you've lived with for 13 years, who you love really dearly, and especially someone who has passed away, because it gives you another meaning. You want to continue that legacy in his name. You want to make it as powerful as possible. And that will be my goal forever, absolutely.